A developer ships a new feature, updates the system prompt, doesn't run any tests because there are no tests. The agent goes live. 2 days later, complaints start coming in. Answers are off. Not wrong enough to be catched immediately, just off. They open their log. No errors, no exceptions. The agent ran fine. It just gives bad answer and nobody knew. This is the silent failure mode, and it is more common than any bug you ever had. In part 1, skills, packaging expertise so that your agent knows how to do each task. In part 2, memory, temporal knowledge graph, so that your agent knows what happened and when. And now in part 3. And the question is simple. How do you know your agent is actually working? Not I tested and it seems fine, not the demo looks good, but actual measurable signal you can act on. Because right now, if you update the system prompt last week, how do you know that it makes your agent better or worse? Not better in one case, better on average, across all tasks it handles. Most developers don't, and that's the issue. By the end of part 3a, you will understand why evaluation is hard, what good evaluation looks like, and what is the architecture pattern behind it. In part 3b, we build it. Live code, real demo, from the actual database. This part is theory, no code. But the theory is what makes the code make sense. Alright, here's the issue. I make YouTube videos. But a YouTube video is never just a video. It's a script, that's Google document, social posts and thumbnails, that's Canva, research notes, Notion, and sometimes I turn these videos into a podcast. That's Descript or Adobe Podcast. So 5 tools, 5 subscriptions, 5 different interfaces. And I spend more time switching between these tools than actually creating. Skywork puts everything in one workspace. I type one idea, just a rough concept, and it generates a structured document. Presentation slides, social posters, even podcast audio, all from the same input. No exporting, no copy-pasting between apps. Watch, here's the document, actual sections, headers, flow, not just bullet points. Now slides from that same document, 12 slides, clean design, matching structure, and a social poster ready to post. The best part? I can refine as much as I want. Different tone, add sections, try new angles. No credit limits. I am not counting usage. I just keep going until it's actually good. It even turns my document into spoken audio. Real pacing, natural flow. Not robotic. That's AI narration from my text in about 2 minutes. For repurposing content, this is genuinely useful. Skyworks angle is different. One input, multiple output. If your workflow needs this flexibility, nothing else does this right now. The value here is having everything in one place and using the same data across the workflow. That matters more than any individual feature. If you want to try Skywork, there's a link in the description with a 20% discount. Alright, let me be clear about why this is hard. When a web server crashes, you get 500. When a database query fails, you get an exception. And when a deployment breaks, you get red build. But when an AI agent gives a bad answer, you get a response. No errors, no exception. A polished, confident, completely wrong response. The agent doesn't know it failed. The system doesn't know it failed. The only person who knows is the user who gets the wrong answer. And users don't always tell you. Now add one more layer. You update the system prompt. It is a small change, just rewarding a few instructions, and you test it on 3 queries, looks fine. But that small change shifted how the agent handles edge cases. Cases you don't normally test. Now 15% of responses have a slight drop in quality. Not obvious, not crashing, just quietly worse. And you find out about this from a user in a support ticket 3 weeks later. This is not hypothetical. This is happening to every team building agents in production. And it keeps happening because they don't have a measurement system. So, why not just write unit tests? You test APIs, you test functions. Why not agents? Unit tests work because the output is deterministic. Input A always produce output B. You assert B and pass. Agent output is not deterministic. The same input can produce 20 different valid responses, every one of them correct. You cannot assert an exact string. So people try fuzzy matching, keywords, regular expressions, and now you are checking if the word Python appears in the answer. But the agent might give a perfect answer that uses coding language instead. Your test fails, but the answer is correct. Or the agent includes the keyword, but the surrounding answer is completely wrong. Your test passes. The answer is bad. Keyword matching is not evaluation. It is pattern matching on text. Different problem. What you need is something that can read the response, understand the intent, and judge whether it answers the question well, for the specific task, with the specific context. Alright, now I want to frame this with a quick cognitive science note, because it explains why evaluation is architecturally different than generation. In part 2, we talked about memory types: semantic, episodic, procedural. Each one answers to a different question. Evaluation mapped to a fourth cognitive concept, metacognition. The ability to assess your own output based on what you know, and to know when you are wrong. A human expert does this constantly. A doctor does not just diagnose, they also assess their own confidence. They flag when they are uncertain. They order a second test when the first result does not fit the pattern. Your agent has a metacognitive layer. It generates a response and stops. It has no way to look at its own output and say, wait, does this actually answer the question? Evaluation is the system you build outside the agent to give it that layer, not inside the model. The model cannot reliably judge itself in the same path, but a separate evaluation call with a focused criteria-based prompt can. This is what LLM-as-judge means. You use the model to evaluate the model's output, not circular, because the tasks are different. Generation is open-ended. Evaluation is criteria-grounded. Not all evaluation is the same, and most tutorials teach only one. You build a test set, 50 questions, 50 expected answers. You run your agent against all 50. You score results. You get a number. This is useful. Tells you if a major change broke something obvious. It is what most teams start with. The problem, your test set is static. Real user queries are not static. And the cases that break in production are rarely the case you put in your test set. You are measuring the known unknowns, not the unknown unknowns. You log every real query and response in production. You run periodic evaluation jobs. You track quality scores over time. You get notified when scores drop. Better? Because now you are measuring real usage, but still reactive. By the time you detect a quality drop from a prompt change, users have already seen bad answers for days. The evaluator runs after every response, before the user sees it. Not a test suite you run on Fridays, not a job you schedule overnight, a quality gate in the live request path. The agent generates a response. Evaluation runs immediately. If the score above the threshold, the user gets the response. If below, the agent retries once, this time with evaluator feedback as context. This is what Part 3b builds, and this is what I want you to understand before we write a single line of code. Because the architecture only makes sense once you see why level 1 and level 2 are not enough. Now, the practical part. What does good evaluator actually evaluate? Most people start with accuracy. Did it answer the question correctly? Yes, but accuracy alone is not enough. Here's why. An agent can answer the question accurately, but with completely wrong confidence. It says Python was created in 1989. That's accurate, but it says it with the same tone as Python was created in 1991, which is wrong. Same confidence, different accuracy. A user cannot tell the difference. Good evaluation has at least 4 dimensions. Each criteria gets a weighted score. Combined, a single number from 0 to 1. Above 0.7 passes. Below 0.7, retry. Why 0.7? Because 1 is not the goal. Perfect is the enemy of useful. A 0.75 answer that ships is better than a 0.95 answer that never comes back from retry loops. The threshold is a business decision, not a technical absolute. One more point, and this is important. The evaluator prompt is just as important as the agent prompt. If the evaluator criteria are vague, the scores are noise. If the criteria are specific and grounded in the task type, the scores are signal. Write your evaluator criteria the same way you write skill descriptions. Specific triggers, explicit rules, measurable outcomes. Alright, let me pull it all together. Skills tells the agents how to behave. Memory tells it what it already knows. Evaluation tells it whether the output is actually good. Without evaluation, you are flying blind. Not because it crashes, because it does not crash. It just gives worse and worse answers and nobody notices until a user complains. The 3 levels: offline benchmarks, online monitoring, runtime quality gates, most teams have level 1, if they have anything. The architecture we are building has level 3. LLM-as-judge is not circular, it is focused, criteria-grounded evaluation call, separate from the generation task. The model can assess what it cannot self-correct in a single pass. And metacognition, the ability to assess your own output, is the layer most agents are missing. Evaluation is how you build it externally. Part 3b, we build it. If this framing helped, the code is going to make it a lot more sense. Finally, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.